Carolyn Swords, the veteran, round out the starting lineup for the Las Vegas Aces. So it will be Jones and Swords to jump it up. And game one of this best-of-5 semifinal series between Connecticut and Las Vegas is underway as Vegas wins the tip.
One of the matchups to keep an eye on this game is right there. DeWanna Bonner defending Angel McCoughtry. The battle at the small forwards position.
And Bonner wins that one. In transition, Thomas gathers. Looked like she brushed it off of Wilson. She did, so it's going to stay right here with Connecticut. Bill Lambier, he got rid of the beard. He cut the hair. But the team's effectiveness remained consistent throughout this regular season. A 3-time champion in the WNBA. With Detroit, as that jumper won't go down for Bonner. Lambier certainly was a Coach of the Year candidate. His old assistant, Cheryl Reeve, winning the award as McCoughtry cans a jumper for the first bucket of the series.
First 2 possessions of the game for Vegas. They are looking not to get the ball directly into Asia Wilson, but to try to exploit that matchup with DeWanna Bonner and Angel McCoughtry.
McCoughtry has the 3rd highest points per game average in playoff history, averaging just under 23 per game. Shot clock down to 4. Alyssa Thomas, she had the lane, just threw it a little left. Here comes McCoughtry, another touch, another shot, no good. But Wilson on the offensive glass gives Vegas another chance. She can't finish, and the rebound finally scraped up by Breon January.
When these teams met in the regular season, Connecticut on the offensive end did a lot of what we just saw. Involve Carolyn Swords in on-ball screening action, make her defend. Jasmine Thomas, huge sign for Connecticut if she can get going early offensively.
Yeah, that's a confident stroke early in the game from Jasmine Thomas. Allen shovels, McCoughtry got hit. And the foul will go against Jasmine Thomas. Her first free throws coming for Angel McCoughtry. Kurt Miller, another outstanding job this season for the Connecticut Sun. Another outstanding shirt for Kurt Miller as well. How about the cacti from Kurt?
How many cacti you think are on that thing?
It's a lot of cacti.
That's one sentence I did not know would be uttered during the game today.
That's really what we try and bring to the table during the WNBA playoffs. But Kurt Miller, you think about what he's been through, and those are those numbers we were talking about in regard to Angels' playoff success. But he is a completely different team from the group that came within 5 minutes of a championship a season ago. No Jonquel Jones, she opted out. Courtney Williams not with this group anymore. Shakina Strickland not with them. In comes DeWanna Bonner. And yet Connecticut has found their footing second half of this season, 2 impressive wins in the playoffs to earn their way to the semifinals. Shot clock is at 4. Jasmine Thomas, too strong. Jones tracked it, controlled it. Another chance for Connecticut.
Connecticut, the best offensive rebounding team in the WNBA this season. Great job and drive by Alyssa Thomas. We saw in the first round game against Chicago. Chicago shot 50%, but Connecticut had so many more looks because they got to the offensive glass.
Good hands there, and the loose ball. Grabbed by Wilson, and Alyssa Thomas is down in pain. Alyssa Thomas in a lot of pain, and that is the last thing you want if you are Connecticut. Breonna Jones is going to get hit with the personal, as we'll see what happened with Alyssa Thomas colliding with McCoughtry and Jasmine Thomas. DeWanna Bonner in there as well.
Yeah, it looked like almost head-to-knee contact.
Alyssa Thomas, who is just a force of nature, stays in the game, appears unfazed at the moment as Wilson, the MVP, hits her first bucket of the game.
Vegas playing heavily through Angel McCoughtry early, but also through Asia Wilson.
Bonner looks off the 3, takes the drive, forced it in. Jones lost it, got it back, and a jump ball is called. Carolyn Swords tying up Jones. They'll jump it up.
Asia Wilson is so difficult to defend off the bounce as well. And the spin back, you see there's length around her. Breonna Jones comes over to help. Her high release point makes it very difficult for a defender of any size to truly contest her without fouling.
And Wilson controls after Swords wins the tip. Vegas an early 6-4 lead, game 1 of the best-of-5 semifinal series. Vegas won both matchups during the regular season handily against Connecticut. But as we talked about, it's a different Connecticut team the way that they've been playing the last few weeks. Here's January. Back to Alyssa Thomas. She'll bank it in. It was one of those and one screams, huh?
You'll hear that a lot from Connecticut.
That's right. Jones jumps the roof, comes up with a steal. Jasmine Thomas didn't have enough on it, and Swords the steal, the flick ahead. How about Kayla McBride in for 2?
Las Vegas is so dangerous when they get in the transition game, and not just easy open layups like that, but when they can get down before the defense is truly set and matched up, so good at attacking the basket, getting to the free throw line as well.
Thomas had it stripped back to Jasmine. She'll hit. You know, talking about that pace from Vegas, they were first in the league in pace this season. One of the things Kurt Miller talked about when describing how to defend them, McCautry misses it badly. He said it's so tough because they're extremely physical and yet play with incredible pace, which is a unique combination.
Also incredible face.
Yeah, really nice face.
And Billy and Beard talked about that too, especially against a Connecticut team that has a limited bench. Pace is going to be important as they try to wear you down.
And a foul called against Brianna Jones, I believe, and if it is Jones, that's going to be her second, and it is. So 2 early ones on Jones, which is significant considering what you just said, Rebecca, about the difference in depth, what Holly set us up for at the beginning of this game, the difference in depth between Vegas and Connecticut.
I mean, it's Vegas' strength, and Bill Lambier told us before the season started, when they were in training camp, he said, what is our identity going to be? It's going to have to be our bench and coming in, and that's how he has his lineup structured.
Good hands from January, and already we've seen very active defense from Connecticut in this first quarter, forcing deflections and turnovers. January's jumper too strong. Rebound, Alyssa Thomas. Rebecca mentioned it before. Connecticut led the WNBA when it comes to second chance points. Alyssa Thomas gets fouled by Hamby. And that'll be the first on Dearica Hamby, who was named 6th Woman of the Year before the start of this season. They're not going to call it a shooting foul. It'll be a side out of bounds. Here is Bonner. Bonner with 5 to shoot. Fading away. Left it short. And here comes Las Vegas. McCautry trying to get it into Wilson. Could not. Good D here from Connecticut, including Beatrice Montpremier, who came in to replace Brianna Jones after a second foul.
One thing you know with Connecticut's defense, they will congest the lane.
Hamby, nice move, dipping and diving and finishing. 10-8 Vegas lead. Jasmine Thomas, another jumper. How about the offense in this first quarter from Jasmine Thomas?
It's huge. It's absolutely huge for Connecticut because she's had times this season where she has gone on a drought from the offensive end.
That's going to be an offensive foul, I believe, on Wilson on the screen. And it is against Asia Wilson. So a timeout. 4:09 to go, first quarter of game one. Good action early, back and forth they go. Hamby, the two-time 6th Woman of the Year, getting it going.
No, honestly, like, I wouldn't be this without you guys. Like,
you got us.
So many people doubted us. It wasn't in conversations, and we did it. Like, of course, the job's not done, but we put a lot of people on notice, and I wouldn't be this. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for the Aces organization.
An incredibly emotional Asia Wilson after being presented with the MVP award. And a really, I think, surprising season for Vegas because Rebecca, many thought, well, the Aces, they don't have Kelsey Plum, they don't have Liz Cambage this season. They're not going to be what they were last year, but A'ja Wilson had other plans.
And they're not what they were last year. They're very different, but also very, very good. And people didn't know what Angel McCarthy was going to bring to this team. But I certainly think most people thought they were going to be somewhere in the top 4 or 5.
And what's been interesting talking to Bill Laimbeer throughout the season, as Bonner lines it up, can't hit the 3, out of bounds, last touch. Las Vegas going to stay here with Connecticut. You see at Mandalay Bay the way they honored A'ja Wilson as the MVP. Very cool to see. And of course, I'm sure the fans there in Las Vegas can't wait to get the Aces back playing there, because the crowds were just incredible for those Aces games since moving to Vegas. But Bill Laimbeer talked about the growth in leadership from A'ja Wilson, how she really owned that role, stepped into it. They needed her to, and she completely embraced it.
Yeah, and only her 3rd year for her to have the maturity to step in that role and to truly lead on a team where you have a player like Angel McCarthy who played in championships, but to still feel comfortable in that role.
McBride can't hit the 3. Rebound taken by Bonner. 12-10 start for Connecticut. They're a live 7 seed. Alyssa Thomas, the spin and the denial by Wilson, who tracked it the whole way. In transition now. Connecticut back, and Hamby is going to get called for the travel.
Great job by A'ja Wilson to come over and save this play, because that advantage against Kayla McBride goes to Alyssa Thomas, but not when you have the leading shot blocker in the league on the weak side.
We've had 5 ties already in this first quarter. Been a defensive frame from 2 really good defensive teams as that jumper drops. And Jasmine Thomas now 4 of 5 in the first quarter.
You might have to change the way you're defending the pick and roll with Jasmine Thomas as she continues to hit.
Jackie Young into the game for Vegas. That 3 from Robinson tilts off. Not her game, and certainly Connecticut will live with that.
Not only live with that, Connecticut would love to see that.
How about Jasmine Thomas? Got to the cup, couldn't finish, and then a foul on the rebound as Wilson was battling. Bonner and Montpremier were both in the area, and the foul's going to be against Montpremier.
On ball screen with Alyssa Thomas. Scouting report is to go behind, but Jasmine Thomas has been making them pay, hitting that mid-range.
I mean, Rebecca, how much of a difference does it make for Connecticut when they're getting, this kind of offense from Jasmine?
Huge. Going to give the other players more space as the defense has to suck out further onto her.
We showed you the graphic off the start as Wilson gets it back, can't put it in, and a jump ball is called prior to the shot. But Alyssa Thomas and Tawana Bonner accounted for 51% of Connecticut's points through the first 2 playoff games.
Yeah, they've been the story. And Kurt Miller has gotten some nice little contributions from his bench throughout the end of the season in the first couple minutes. And I'm talking specifically about Beatrice Montpremier. She's used her length nicely in her minutes on the floor so far. And the second meeting between these teams, neither Alyssa Thomas nor Jasmine Thomas played. So some of those bench players got a little bit more familiar with this Vegas team.
And Montpremier, 8 offensive rebounds in that game, something that was a foundational piece of confidence for Kurt Miller as to how Montpremier might perform in this series. Speaking of, Montpremier draws the foul as Sugar Rogers and A'ja Wilson were in the area.
This is huge. This is huge because Brianna Jones is such a focal point for Connecticut on the offensive end of the floor. She's out of the game with 2 fouls. So what are you going to get? You're going to get Montpremier coming in. She already has 2 points. Now she's at the line. She's producing on the defensive end of the floor. This is a rookie that would not have been on the roster even for Connecticut if Jonquel Jones hadn't opted not to play.
Let's take a look at the upcoming WNBA playoff schedule. Coming up on ABC. Following this game, it'll be game 1 between Seattle and Minnesota. And then game 2 of each of these series will take place on ESPN2 Tuesday night. For more on these games, please go to WNBA.com or visit the WNBA app. Well, Montpremier unable to hit from the line as she misses both. More good D, though. It'll stay down here with Vegas. Beatrice Montpremier, the 20th pick of the 2020 draft. Missed 13 games as a senior with Miami. with an acute foot injury, but still led them in points, rebounds, and field goal percentage. Robinson has speed, finds Swords. Her jumper won't go. Vegas has missed a few good looks from in close.
So Vegas team, remember, they haven't played in a week. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to get your lungs back, to get your rhythm back.
We'll stay here with Vegas as Rogers in on the deflection. Kyla Charles and Natisha Heidemann in off the bench for Connecticut. Kurt Miller acknowledging that Kyla Charles was going to have to be very important in order for Connecticut to have a shot in this series.
And a starter-heavy lineup to be able to buy some of the minutes around the TV timeout.
Charles can't hit the three. Rebound taken by Jackie Young for Las Vegas. Inside of a minute to go in this opening quarter. Rogers tap dances around the three-point line. Here's Hamby. Hawked by Alyssa Thomas. Hamby trying to find space. Alyssa Thomas with some absolutely scintillating D. 4 to shoot here for Vegas.
The defensive side has been Connecticut's hallmark all season long. And it starts with Alyssa Thomas. One of the best, I think the best defender in the WNBA. She brings a certain toughness to the floor on every possession.
3 to shoot. Hamby gets it off, and it's taken by Connecticut. Here comes Heidemann. 6-second difference, game and shot clock. Alyssa Thomas giving some space, says, all right. Montpremier can't hit the jumper. Charles the offensive board, and Montpremier drops it out of bounds, and it's going to be Las Vegas basketball. Vegas shooting just 26.5% this quarter. Connecticut under 37%. Big aggressive, active defenses.
Vegas is so good in transition. Connecticut has limited that.
Hamby can't hit the three, and that'll do it for the first. Connecticut a 14-10 lead after one quarter at the end of the first quarter of game one.
And we've seen the stars here for both teams. It's going to be A'ja Wilson every time for the Vegas Aces. But how about Jasmine Thomas coming alive for the Connecticut Sun?
That's huge. You know, they're not really leaving me in the pick and roll, which opens up opportunities for her, which we know she's capable of shooting that shot.
Describe that last defensive possession. You on De'Erica Hamby making that happen.
That's the type of defense we play all night. You know, I'm trying to let her know I'm going to be here all night and nothing's going to be easy.
Thank you, AT.
Thank you.
Well, Alyssa Thomas is just an incredible all-around player. And as you mentioned, Rebecca, a legitimate shot to win her first Defensive Player of the Year award this season. That is one of the awards that has not yet been announced. Alicia Clark of Seattle, another prime candidate. You would think it likely will be one of those two women who win the award. But we saw with Alyssa Thomas that, yeah, even if she's not scoring, the facilitating, the rebounding always, but also, I mean, just the incredible defense.
And her ability to switch on to any player, 1 through 5. And she is a bruising defender. You will feel her presence. Nice job by Hamby that time, though, to take it at her, spin, and finish.
De'Erica Hamby, 6th Woman of the Year for a second straight season. Bill Laimbeer said he could feel even more confidence and more acceptance of the role coming off the bench this season compared to last, as Heidemann can't finish. And it's out of bounds off of Las Vegas. Good effort on the glass there from AT.
Connecticut has some length in their front court right now with this lineup. Dewana Bonner, last possession. Kurt Miller running a screen to get her posting up on Jackie Young. Now Angel McCarthy here, back in the game.
Bonner accelerates, flips, can't bank it in. Loose ball and another chance for Connecticut on the offensive glass. Four to shoot. Charles gives it up, 1 to shoot. Bonner has to. Can't hit. Halfway down and it popped out, but it'll be Las Vegas basketball.
Kurt Miller told us sometimes our offense can get chunky, but As long as we're getting it done on the defensive end of the floor, we're going to be in games, and that's certainly happening here. Their defense is what they're really relying on here early.
During the regular season, they were 10th in offensive efficiency, 4th in defense as Bonner comes up with a rejection. It was their defense that led Connecticut to the playoffs.
Angel McCautry has great size at the small forward spot, but so does DeWanna Bonner at 6'4", and also tremendous length.
Now, this is interesting. Are they going to call Alyssa Thomas for this foul? I believe they are. It'll be the first on Alyssa Thomas, but it's an away from the play foul. It occurred before the ball was inbounded. Let's see the foul here on Alyssa Thomas. And as a result, Vegas can choose whoever they want to shoot one free throw, and then the Aces retain possession. And McCautry hits the free throw.
Yeah, you've got to fight over the screen. You can't just bulldoze through, no matter how strong you are.
Kind of reminds me of what Curt Miller was talking to us about today before the game, though. He said Vegas bullies a lot of teams. You know, they're a physical team. I'm confident our team won't get bullied. Hamby, 6 to shoot. Robinson, back to Hamby, a 3, no. Rebound, Heidemann. Heidemann ducks it into Alyssa Thomas. Thomas one-on-one with A'ja Wilson. The help comes, and a foul is called against Las Vegas. Carolyn Swords is hit with the personal.
Yeah, got it right on the arm. But you have to bring help because Alyssa Thomas is a handful when she gets going in the lane off a dribble.
Coming up at 3 Eastern over on ABC, the Lynx take on Brianna Stewart, Sue Bird, and the Storm in Game 1 of their playoff series. You can always watch it streaming live on the ESPN app from anywhere.
Connecticut has to be really happy on the defensive end of the floor. Angel McCautry and De'Erica Hamby have both taken more field goal attempts than A'ja Wilson. Kayla McBride has taken an equal number. They need to get A'ja Wilson some more touches here on the offensive end of the floor.
I mean, I know that was a kick, Rebecca, but it just feels like there has been an incredible amount of deflections and disruption in the half court from Connecticut's defense.
It's what they do.
And a foul called there against Mom Premier. We'll keep it here with Las Vegas. Let's check in with Holly.
Well, after seeing this suffocating Connecticut Sun defense really put a good LA Sparks team in a bad spot, they could not do anything the other night. I asked Bill Laimbeer about that. I said, what concerns do you have about how smothering they are? And he said, well, we have to get out in transition. That's what we can do. I don't know if we'll win a game in the half court against them or we can do successful things against their half court defense, but where we can excel is in transition. That just really hasn't happened yet today. Just the lowest scoring quarter of the year so far for Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's a great point, Holly. The 10 points matching their low for any quarter this season. They averaged 23 a first quarter this year, and they had just 2 first fast break points thus far in this first half. So not getting out in transition the way they normally do. Wilson with the putback bucket there. But one thing we know, too, Vegas a good defensive team as well, so as much as they've struggled, they're down just 3. Jones back in, flips it home. Nice move from Brianna Jones. Jones sat for much of that first quarter after picking up 2 early fouls. Wilson, hounded by Alyssa Thomas. Scramble mode for Vegas, and it results in a turnover. Alyssa Thomas running the floor. Good movement here from Connecticut. Jones, and that's going to be... Is they going to call that an offensive foul or a block? Angel McCautry is certainly dinged up afterwards.
The play originates in the lower defensive box, so it doesn't matter about the restricted area. I thought that foul was on Angel McCoughtry. Does she beat her to the spot? Maybe the lower of the shoulder.
Yeah, and maybe
elbow.
a little elbow.
Yeah, that is a good call.
Well, and that is an immensely consequential call, because that's number 3 on Brianna Jones, who has really blossomed this season and become, as you said, Rebecca, a huge focal point of Connecticut's offense. So instead, the rookie Mom Premier right back in there for Connecticut. Double comes. Danielle Robinson, shifty through the lane, can't spin it in. McCoughtry on the offensive glass draws the foul on the putback, and Angel McCoughtry will shoot 2.
Danielle Robinson getting into the teeth of the defense. Great job by Angel McCoughtry. And we've seen it a couple times the last few possessions for Vegas, getting to the offensive glass. That's going to be really important for them if they continue to struggle and not be able to get out in transition and not get the flow they want on the offensive end. You got to get those second looks.
Angel McCoughtry with her first playoff appearance since 2016. Her 700 and now 56 career playoff points, most all time without winning a title. She went to the finals 3 times with Atlanta, but they were swept each time. Alyssa Thomas can't finish. Here comes McCoughtry, a transition opportunity for Vegas. Jackie Young's leaner won't go, and it's out of bounds off of Connecticut. It'll stay with Vegas.
Jackie Young has been quiet so far here in this game as well. Ooh.
I think it made it.
I thought it was off of Hamby's fingertips.
It may have been. Wilson turning, gets the roll, and Asia Wilson, her 3rd field goal. Vegas getting a little more rhythm now.
Yeah, and we'll see if they can get Asia Wilson going a little bit before halftime.
Bonner, the ball fake. Bonner with just 2 points in this first half. Jasmine Thomas cans another jumper. Jasmine Thomas with 10 points. She is the game's leading scorer. Wilson digs in, squeezes it up, can't finish. Here comes Bonner. Bonner evades McCoughtry, 5 on 3. Jasmine Thomas, you bet, on a 3. 13 first half points for Jasmine Thomas and a 7-point Connecticut lead.
I don't think it's a surprise that Thomas is leading the Connecticut Sun in the first half, but you would just expect it to be Alyssa and not Jasmine on the offensive end.
McCoughtry trip, no call. Now a jump as Bonner ties her up. McCoughtry wanted a foul, might add a case. Nonetheless, we'll step aside. Connecticut a 7-point lead.
Jasmine Thomas has been outstanding so far here in the first half. A little bit of space. 13 points in the first half.
Right? It's only 10 minutes gone by. Okay, we played like crap. We're still right in the game. It becomes a test of wills. Do not give in. Do not give in. They make a bucket. Too bad. We're going to score on them. We don't score. They don't score. What it's about. Every possession. Every possession. You keep. It's a 40-minute game. It's a 200-minute series. You keep playing as hard as you can. I'll keep bringing fresh legs.
Connecticut with 4 offensive rebounds in this game. This series is going to be a grinded out kind of series. It's not going to be 2 teams scoring in the 90s or 100s because they both have such a premier on the defensive end of the floor.
Jasmine Thomas gets the whistle, and Jasmine Thomas is going to shoot 2. So Jackie Young come down with the slap. And she gets called for her 2nd personal, 3rd team foul against Las Vegas.
And Ryan, because Jasmine hit the shots early, you got to inch a little bit closer to her on the defensive end of the floor, which gives her, of course, the greater opportunity to get by you and into the paint.
Let's check in with Holly for a little more on Jasmine.
What makes this so striking, Jasmine Thomas with 14 early points, is she has become a self-made shooter. Early in her career, she was not good from shooting. She would 21%, 25% in 2013, 2014. So while she was overseas, she put in the work. She said, I was pretty much sick of being sacked off of, dismissed as a shooter. People would do that in their scouting report, and I was embarrassed. She put in the time and the effort, and here she is in the WNBA semifinals in 2020. She is a threat because she put in that work.
Yeah, Holly, I mean, a testament to her. I mean, here she is with 15 first-half points. As Bonner can't hit. Bonner's 0 of 7 from the floor. Normally, this Connecticut team couldn't survive that, but thanks to Jasmine Thomas, they've been able to, as McBride had a legitimate beat for an and-one opportunity there.
And she's a player who can really come alive for Vegas because she can shoot from deep and she can also create her own shot.
Montpremier sets the screen. Bonner trying to get one to go. She can't. Montpremier on the follow. 16 rebounds from Montpremier the last time these teams met, and she cleans up that one. 5 first-half boards for Beatrice Montpremier, the rookie. Here's Wilson. So smooth.
2 possessions ago, Asia Wilson was on the same side of the floor as Danielle Robinson, so Robinson's defender could just sit in her lap. This last possession on the same side of the floor as a shooter, Kayla McBride, get better results.
29-22, Connecticut in front of Vegas. 3:22 to go in this second quarter.
And the fact that she can just score through 4, 5. She had 5 Connecticut Sun bodies around her. Unbothered. So often Asia Wilson is unbothered by the number of defenders that are coming at her.
Each of the previous 4 league MVPs went on to win the title that season. Asia Wilson trying to make it 5. January finds Bonner. 3 to shoot. Bonner going to have to put it up. She doesn't see the shot clock. And Connecticut turns it over. This is the 5th turnover of the half for Connecticut.
And Vegas has done a really good job frustrating Damana Bonner-Ryan. She is 0 for 8 right now from the floor. And you think, too, early in this game, Vegas was going to play a lot through Angel McCautry. Bonner was her defender, taking it at her, taking it at her. So she's had to work on the defensive end of the floor and then has had frustrating output on the offensive end of the floor.
Bonner averaged 20 points a game through the first 2 rounds of the playoffs as Robinson gets fouled by Alyssa Thomas, and that'll be number 2 on AT. Robinson will go to the line.
That's her second personal, 4th team foul.
Here's Danielle Robinson, who's been a big boost off the bench for Vegas this season, has fit in beautifully with their style of play, the speed at which she plays. This is the YouTube TV Try It free throw. Watch WNBA games and 85+ live channels when you try YouTube TV for free at tv.youtube.com.
And she doesn't have to make it in order for you to try that.
No,
try
you just go
TV.
try YouTube TV. Let's take a look at today's power moments of the game, brought to you by Beats. What a first half from Jasmine Thomas.
This is a player in the first 2 playoff games averaging 9 points a game. Already has 15 early in this one. The defense going behind screens, so she's going to hit the shots. Switching out, she's going to hit the shots. She adds so much to this team when she can give them a perimeter presence and has been terrific in her minutes so far.
15 points, 6 of 8 shooting for Jasmine Thomas through the first 2 games of the playoffs. The first and second single elimination rounds was averaging 9 points, 33% shooting. Much different Jasmine Thomas so far today as she turns it over there. Angel McCautry on the steal. McCautry's leaner won't go. And the rebound taken by Montpremier, her 6th of the half. Brianna Jones has been in foul trouble all half. The rookie Montpremier has stepped up for Connecticut. Seven to shoot. Jasmine Thomas wiggles and hits.
Angel McCautry is such a good help side defender and can shoot the gap and get you steals, but sometimes you can exploit her when she's on the ball. Connecticut was able to do that there.
8-point Connecticut lead, 17 for Jasmine Thomas. Asia Wilson's jumper rims out, was halfway down before it spun out. Here's Alyssa Thomas finding Jasmine. It's been her half. Jasmine Thomas connects on another 19 in the first half for Jasmine Thomas. 10-point Connecticut lead. Danielle Robinson can't hit. Here comes AT. Alyssa Thomas with Jasmine to her right. You bet! On a three! Jasmine Thomas is locked in. 22 first half points. And the Connecticut bench is unstoppable right now.
Yeah, Vegas simply does not have an answer for the Connecticut Sun point guard. She has been terrific. 22 points already in this half. And in transition, Alyssa Thomas knows where she's going with it. This isn't a moment where she's going to spin and try to finish inside. And whoo, how about the bench? They're feeling it.
Tremendous celebration from the bench, and Jasmine Thomas, no hesitation on these releases. 9 of 11 from the floor in this first half, 22 points, and the 7-seed Sun leading the top seed Vegas Aces by 13. Wilson can't finish. More great D from Connecticut.
Beatrice Montpremier is not only tall, but she is long, and that's given Asia Wilson a little bit of difficulty.
Kyla Charles going to get called for the charge. Good D from Danielle Robinson and Angel McCautry. Coming up, State Farm halftime. We will have Diamond DeShields as a guest analyst, joining LaChina Robinson in studio. And they'll recap this first half and look ahead to Seattle and Minnesota. So stay tuned for the WNBA halftime report presented by State Farm.
Diamond always has something interesting to say. I'm looking forward to listening to her.
Here's Wilson. Wilson can't wedge it in. It's been a tough half for Vegas on the offensive end. Asia Wilson now 4 of 10. 2-for-1 opportunity for Connecticut if they wanted. Jasmine Thomas, not that time. Just a slight differential game and shot clock. Vegas' season low for points and a half was 30 before this first half, which they will obviously be setting a new season low as Wilson gets fouled, and Asia Wilson will shoot 2. We'll check who that foul is on. You have a few Connecticut players out there with 2. That one's going to be on Kyla Charles. And for Kyla, it is her second. Vegas shooting just their 8th and 9th free throws of this first half. They led the WNBA in free throw attempts per game with more than 23. Asia Wilson individually led the league in free throws made and attempted. And Wilson hits both. Connecticut will take their use it or lose it timeout, draw something out for the final 5.9 of the half. We'll step aside. Connecticut leading by 11, first half of game 1. A playoff game back on October 5th of 2011. So it has been a while, and it's Connecticut, the 7 seed, who has a 36-25 lead on Vegas, the top seed. 4 seconds to go in the half. Good hands by Hamby. An opportunity for McBride, and that'll do it for the first half of action. State Farm halftime coming up next with LaChina Robinson and Diamond DeShields. Connecticut an 11.
Were contested, those that were open from the three-point line, driving inside, playing with a tremendous amount of confidence, as you would expect from a veteran. Her teammates were loving it. But she'd been relatively quiet in the first 2 games of these playoffs. That's why those 22 points were a bit unexpected.
Incredible first half from Jasmine Thomas. As we get ready to start the second, let's go inside the bubble to Holly Rowe.
Well, obviously, that's not the Las Vegas team that we saw in the regular season with a crazy win over Seattle a week ago today. They're just a little step slow, trying to get their rhythm back. They've had an entire week off. Bill Lambert had them practice very hard on Tuesday, but then they took it easy leading up to this game. I expect more energy and activity from them, but one thing you can count on, their defense was pretty good in that first half. Alyssa Thomas just 6 points, DeWanna Bonner just 2. They did have some good defensive attention on those two, but Jasmine Thomas made them pay.
Well, Asia Wilson starts things off with a putback here, insisting her way after Alyssa Thomas hit that jumper. Rebecca, how would you look at that, what Holly was just talking about? You know, if you are Connecticut, you got a ridiculous half from Jasmine Thomas as Alyssa gets that to drop in. But you had a double-digit lead while getting nowhere near your normal production from DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas.
Yeah, well, Court Miller, first of all, has to be thrilled with what they did on the defensive end of the floor. And on the offensive end, you see here, Alyssa Thomas getting looks early, trying to get her go early. And DeWanna Bonner was really quiet offensively that first half, except for the one play they ran that she got to the free throw line posting up. You might expect some more post-up looks for her with a smaller McCautry on her.
Here is Angel. Angel raising up, can't hit. Angel McCautry has been aggressive in this game, but just 1 of 6 from the floor now. Here's Alyssa Thomas. Yep, going after Angel. Couldn't bank it in, and the rebound taken by Swords.
But giving the ball to Alyssa and clearing out that side of the floor, trying to get her going.
Angel McCautry can't finish. A good look there. And now Bonner pedaling it ahead. How about Jasmine? Oh, yeah. Starts the second half the way she ended the first.
And on that last miss by Vegas, you saw Asia Wilson put her head down in frustration. The last one to cross the floor. They haven't been in this position, this kind of a deficit much this season.
Asia Wilson trying to get her team going a little bit with a scream after the bucket.
She had to be thinking on some possessions, why is anybody taking the shot other than me?
Here is Jasmine with another one. 27 points for Jasmine Thomas. Angel McCautry, a good look from 3. Won't go. Vegas shot the fewest threes per game in the WNBA this season. They are 0 of 7 so far. Jasmine Thomas, not that tough.
I think sometimes down the floor offensively, the decision-making has been suspect for Las Vegas. Play through Asia Wilson. You don't want Angel McCautry taking a quick 3. You don't want Lindsay Allen taking a quick 3. And on the other end, what is Connecticut doing, Ryan? They're getting it to their hot hand. Jasmine Thomas continues to be on fire here in the second half.
27 points for Jasmine Thomas. Connecticut, the 7th seed, won a single elimination first round and a single elimination second round game against Chicago and LA respectively to punch their ticket into the semifinals, taking on the top seeded Aces. Bonner, DeWanna Bonner now 0 for 9 from the floor.
Angel McCautry out of the game now. I think it's because of the decision making by her on some of the shot attempts.
Lindsay Allen left alone. Now that one's short.
Yeah. That's a 15-footer with the entire defense playing off of you.
Jasmine Thomas gets inside and lays it home. 29 points and the confidence bubbling from Jasmine Thomas. She has tied her career high for a playoff game. And there is a whole lot of runway left in this basketball game.
The confidence we've seen from Jasmine Thomas. Sometimes as a player, you get the feeling that no matter who they put on me, they can't guard me tonight. And she certainly looks like she feels that way.
Wilson, good hands, and then the save. Alyssa Thomas poked it, Jasmine saved it, and now Connecticut in transition. Alyssa Thomas gets it back off the deflection. Bonner rejected. What an effort by Asia Wilson. Intensity turned up in this third. Jackie Young lost it out of bounds, but Yes, to hit her last, it's going to be Connecticut basketball.
The hands of DeWanna Bonner. You talked about it in the first half, Ryan. The deflections, the activity.
Well, and I'll give Holly Rowe a lot of credit. It was something she put in our heads before the start of this series, just the activity from the guards and on the perimeter from Connecticut, and how that may affect the unexperienced guard play of Las Vegas.
As much as we've talked about Jasmine Thomas's offensive production, great finish inside, finally by DeWanna Bonner. Jasmine Thomas is known as an elite defensive guard.
By the way, it's inexperienced. I don't know why I went on there.
I liked it.
Lindsay Allen straight on. Can't hit the three. 18-point Connecticut lead. Bonner. This time a clear runway for her first field goal of the game. Making her second field goal of, no, her first. 1 of 11 now from the floor. And, you know, it's been the Jasmine Thomas show. 29 points from the veteran guard. All Connecticut.
And score. We've seen smaller players defend her. She has scored. We've seen Angel McCarthy there defending her. She has scored. The length of Jackie Young. She takes it inside. No single defender has been able to limit Jasmine Thomas.
I mean, she has nearly matched the entire Aces team in scoring thus far in this game. 51-31, Connecticut in front of Vegas. Game 1 of this best-of-5 semifinal series. Asia Wilson was surrounded, couldn't finish. Alyssa Thomas with her 5th rebound of the day. Connecticut has a team of +8 on the glass.
Now Bill Lambier giving Sugar Rogers a go at defending Thomas.
Thomas kicks. Here's Alyssa. The body, the floater, the bucket. Alyssa Thomas now with 12 points. That one was a bit unconventional.
Everything she does is unconventional.
It's true. An unorthodox but tried and true style as Thomas comes up with a steal and then draws the foul. Just incredible competitive nature of Alyssa Thomas.
And just the way she shoots is a little bit of a shot put, and we can see that she does that with both hands, finishes effectively with both hands.
That's saved nicely, but January control. Jasmine Thomas short on that 3. Here comes Sugar Rogers. Something to keep in mind, Rebecca pointed out earlier, Vegas has not played in a week because of their bye, which is very unusual in this particular jam-packed season. Jasmine Thomas lays it in. It is a new career high, playoff or regular season, 31 points for Jasmine Thomas.
If you're watching at this game and thinking, all right, well, what can Vegas go back to offensively that's worked? Or even, what can they do defensively that's worked? Nothing. I mean, they have not been able to limit Jasmine Thomas. On the offensive end, they have not been able to consistently get things going. So what? A turnover on the offensive end leads to transition easy, too, for Thomas the other way.
You know, as we watch the way this game has unfolded thus far, it reminds me of something Kurt Miller, the Suns' outstanding head coach, talked to us about before the game, Rebecca, when he said, I realized through these first 2 games how important it is to have veterans. You know, people always talk about it, and at first I was coaching a young team without playoff experience, but I really have felt the veteran nature and the playoff experience from my group through these first couple games, and I see how important it is and how valuable it's been to us.
And they lived that 2 years in a row when they got a bye in the first round of the playoffs, and then they faced Phoenix both of those years, and they got beat in that single elimination. It was just a lack of experience. They had the talent. It was just a lack of experience in those moments. And even in free agency, they went and got players who have that championship experience.
Let's check in with Holly.
Well, Kurt Miller said when he put this team together, it was exactly that, a championship pedigree that he was looking for. This is the most experienced team in the WNBA with playoff experience. Look at this. Connecticut, 231 games played in this moment. Las Vegas, half of that. And guys, I can't tell you enough. This Connecticut team looked awful in their first 5 games. I would see Kurt Miller around the lobby. He was like that cartoon character with a cloud following him everywhere he went. I stopped talking to him because he was so depressed. This team has turned it around and is peaking at the right time. What a shout out to their veterans and their leadership.
Yeah, Holly, it's a great point. I mean, Kurt Miller early on was wondering, might his team be a lottery team? That's how discombobulated they look. But wow, they found it in the second half of the season. They've continued in the playoffs thus far. And it's a long series, but so far, what a strong start for the Connecticut Sun. Beatrice Montpremier, the rookie, can't hit. Bonner, the putback, no. But a foul against Vegas. Bonner, by the way, with 2 field goals made after missing her first 10, hit her last 2. And now we'll get a chance, 2 tries at the free throw line. Open the WNBA app now to tap to cheer for your team. Fans already have 1,068,070 total taps for this Sun Aces game. At the end of the game, you can tap to pick your MVP of the matchup and see if other fans agree with your standout player of the game.
I'm always happy when it's over in Bill.
Oh, yeah. Get your chest up. The Vegas fans have shown up all year for the tap to cheer.
For sure.
57-34, Connecticut in front. Game 1 of a best-of-5 semifinals. Vegas, the top seed in the WNBA this regular season, as Young hits the 3. That's the first 3 of the game for Las Vegas. They had missed their first 9.
And Jackie Young finding some offense here in the third quarter.
Letitia Heidemann, the poise, the delivery, the connection.
We talked so much coming into this game about the difference in the production from the bench. And I think the Connecticut bench has more than held their own, not only with their 7 points, but the big minutes from Beatrice Montpremier defensively in that first half.
Had to do so when Brianna Jones was in foul trouble as Asia Wilson. Boy, Wilson's trying, isn't she? She's been really insisting her team, but just has been the only real source of positivity today for the Aces. 17 points on 50% shooting for Wilson. Not much elsewhere. Good look inside. Bonner found Alyssa Thomas for the bunny. Alyssa Thomas now 14 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. Rogers hoist. No.
Just a lot of standing around for Vegas when Hamby had the ball on the perimeter. You might usually see clearouts for Angel McClatchy and Asia Wilson, but they don't usually look like that.
Alyssa Thomas, the floater, rims off. Rebound Wilson. Hamby goes down in the backcourt. Now she's up on her feet. Jogging into the front court. Here's Wilson. Wilson's jumper is smooth. Asia Wilson with 19 points now. The only member of the Aces with more than 6.
You got to keep riding Wilson on the offensive end of the floor without a doubt. But on the defensive end, you got to get some stops.
And they get one here. Heidemann with Hamby switched on her. Heidemann gives it up. 5 to shoot. Alyssa Thomas up under and off. And the rebound taken by Vegas. About a 3.5-second difference game in shot clock. Heidemann comes up with a steal. 2-on-1. Alyssa Thomas lays it in. Alyssa Thomas with a big third quarter. 10 points in the frame. And what was an 11-point lead at the half has swelled to 23 for Connecticut. And Connecticut had a foul to give, so Heidemann gives it.
First in the last 2 minutes.
Bill Laimbeer looks like, I think, how most Vegas fans feel right now. Like, this is not the team we've grown to watch all season long.
No, I mean, Vegas won 17 of their final 19 games. Young, and a foul is going to go against Vegas offensively. Will be on Cannon.
Jackie Young trying to create, and Emma Cannon steps up and just delivers one to Bonner.
So 3.5 seconds left in this third quarter. in a game that has been all Connecticut. Inbound thrown away. Robinson's runner won't go, and that'll do it for the third. Connecticut takes a 20.
I mean, that is real life, real talk. Asia Wilson hanging her head during that huddle and Bill Laimbeer calling her out. He doesn't care who it is. And she responded. She came out of that timeout, had 2 quick scores. These players are not going to quit, even though they're down in this game. But I love that Bill Laimbeer just said it like it is, called it out, and was like, do you want me to take you out? I will. And they all said, no, we want to stay in and compete.
Yeah, Holly, I mean, it's a long series and a good reminder from Bill Laimbeer as Kyla Charles puts it in, plus the foul, and a good start to the fourth quarter for Connecticut. We have some breaking news now in regard to today's slate of semifinal games. The WNBA just announcing they have postponed Game 1 between the Seattle Storm and the Minnesota Lynx. As their statement reads, after receiving inconclusive COVID-19 test results today for players from the Seattle Storm, the WNBA announced that Game 1 of the WNBA semifinals between the Seattle Storm and the Minnesota Lynx has been postponed out of an abundance of caution. Players with inconclusive results have undergone additional testing today and are currently in isolation. The new date for Game 1 will be communicated as developments warrant. So obviously huge news, and we certainly hope that the additional testing provides clearance for those players. The WNBA has gone through this wobble situation without any players testing positive once the season started. There were a few inconclusive results that then, after additional testing, were deemed to be negative tests, and play was able to resume. So we certainly hope for the same result in this case for an experiment that has worked incredibly well up to this point.
Lindsey Allen for the Vegas Aces, one of those players who missed a game earlier this season for that reason.
So, of course, as soon as we have any more definitive news and any news as to when Seattle and Minnesota will play Game 1 of their series, we will let you know. But what we know for now is this afternoon's 3 p.m. Eastern scheduled tip between Minnesota and Seattle for Game 1. That has been postponed due to inconclusive COVID-19 test results from players from the Seattle Storm.
Making sure the players are healthy, obviously the #1 priority, but a few extra days of rest for Sylvia Fowles, or an extra day of rest for Sylvia Fowles, certainly helps Minnesota.
Fowles was questionable to play in Game 1 today. Meanwhile, Connecticut with a 73-45 lead over Las Vegas. 8:23 to go in the fourth quarter of Game 1 of this best-of-5 semifinal series.
Jackie Young has come alive here in the second half, and we talked so much and have heard so much about the Vegas bench, and she has 10 of Vegas's 15 bench points. That is very low for them.
And all 10 of her points are in the second half, so maybe something she can take into Game 2 and moving forward in the series, Rebecca, even if it's not going to bear fruit in this game. How about it if you're Connecticut, Rebecca, are you thinking yet, if you're Kurt Miller, about, hey, I want to get Alyssa Thomas some rest here for, I mean, she's already played 32 minutes in this game. Obviously, that means she has not sat yet in this game. Is it too early to be thinking about that as Thomas comes up with the emphatic rejection?
It's not too early at all, especially when you look at the other side and realize Asia Wilson is not on the floor. She's on the bench. But how about that 6'6" Carolyn Swords, and Alyssa Thomas comes over on the help side to block it.
And something Holly always reminds us of, you know, Alyssa Thomas is playing with torn labrums in each of her shoulders.
We got it in. I didn't know if we were going to get it in this game.
Alyssa Thomas lays it in. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, and 5 steals for Alyssa Thomas. You know, I love this nugget we got from her hoop stats before the start of this game. Alyssa Thomas has played 12 career playoff games. In 4 of them, she's had at least 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists. The only player in WNBA playoff history with more 20-10-5 games is Candace Parker, who has 5. But she's done it in 48 career playoff games, 4 times as many as Alyssa Thomas.
It really is remarkable how Alyssa Thomas has performed throughout the course of her career in the playoffs. And we saw it so much a year ago, her value to the team. She did not come off the floor until Game 5 when she was in foul trouble.
By the way, cannot recommend her hoop stats enough. If you are a fan of women's basketball, they just do such a wonderful job. On the reverse, the layup goes for Danielle Robinson. I want to remind you that we are slated to have a doubleheader of action on ESPN2 Tuesday night, as January misfires. Was scheduled to be Game 2 of each series. We'll see how scheduling is determined moving forward after the postponement today for Game 1 between Seattle and Minnesota. Robinson lays it in, plus the foul. Danielle Robinson will shoot a pair.
Danielle Robinson, explosive, going to the basket. In the last few possessions, she's done some nice things. Jackie Young has done some nice things. And you asked about Alyssa Thomas and how long she would stay in. Well, she just left the floor. Teresa Plaisance now in at the 4th spot for Connecticut.
Rebecca, when you're in a game like this, and granted, okay, there's still 6:12 to go, and stranger things have happened, but if you are Las Vegas, what does the focus become here, the final half of this final quarter, knowing you have a series left to play?
Just keep playing hard. You just have to keep playing hard, and it's mostly bench players who are in the game right now. It's all bench players who are in the game right now. So this is still your moment to try to get more minutes in Game 2.
Maybe create a little momentum, but this afternoon it's been all Connecticut and a long face for Bill Laimbeer.
The WNBA Playoffs 2020 is presented by AT&T 5G. And in part,
Celtics and the Heat Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern with the Heat up 2-1. NBA Countdown gets our coverage started at 7:30 on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Game 1 of this semifinal series, Connecticut a 75-53 lead on Vegas. 5:36 to go in the 4th. And I believe that is going to be a foul against Connecticut. It looked like it might be a travel, but they're going to call a foul here, I believe.
Teresa Plaisance picks up the Connecticut foul.
And Teresa Plaisance hit with the personal.
I mean, 53 points for Vegas Aces. You get the similar feeling watching this game as you did when Connecticut beat Los Angeles in the 2nd round. Like, how can such a good offensive team be so anemic? And the credit goes to the Connecticut Sun defense. It has just been stifling all afternoon long.
Cannon can't hit the 3. 5 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the 4th quarter of Game 1 of this semifinal series between Connecticut and Las Vegas. A 75-53 Connecticut lead as Montpremier turns it over. Connecticut's gotten a little sloppy here in this 4th. Probably enough of a buffer that it won't cost them. We'll see if Vegas can create any sort of momentum moving forward in this series.
Even if it's not momentum, just create some energy. So at least the players who are on the floor can feel good.
Yeah.
When the game is done.
Asia Wilson, the great teammate she is, cheering on her group as Sierra Burdick gets her first bucket of the game. You know, on the flip side, too, if you're Connecticut, a few of your bench players get a little more time. Maybe they can get a little more rhythm or confidence for other moments they could have later in this series, like a Teresa Plaisance?
Their bench had been really, really good in this game.
Yeah.
You know, Montpremier had her fingerprints on it, and Natisha Heidemann right there had played well.
Young elevates and banks it in, plus the foul. And Vegas makes it an 18-point game. Jackie Young having a really nice fourth quarter.
Yeah, she's getting a chance in this second half to really show what she is good at. And it's the mid-range jumper. It's overpowering some smaller guards by taking shots like that one. All 14 points for her have come here in the second half.
Jackie Young at the stripe, shooting one.
Young had a streak about a third of the way into the season where she just took off and was producing remarkably consistently off the bench. 10 points, 5 assists. Every single game was hitting those numbers. Coincided with Vegas starting to really find it as Heidemann buries the three. And Young, look, she was the first pick of the draft in 2019. Bill Laimbeer calls her their best post-entry passer, loves her defense, and she really blossomed this season with Las Vegas, even if she doesn't have the same kind of gaudy stats that top picks often do. Heidemann gets fouled, and Natisha Heidemann will shoot two.
But Young is still a complimentary piece,
yes,
right, for Vegas. You need A'ja Wilson to have big game. And
you right there, partner?
Okay, and Angel McCoughtry to have a big game, and De'Erica Hamby to be productive offensively, coming in off the bench. And outside of A'ja Wilson, Vegas did not have either of those other things.
Heidemann hits the first. Angel McCoughtry got off to a quick start, but it soon turned into a tough day for McCoughtry. 1 of 8 from the floor in her 16 minutes. And in case you are just joining us or happen to miss our announcement a few moments ago, out of an abundance of caution, the WNBA postponed game 1 of the semifinals between the Seattle Storm and Minnesota Lynx. That game was due to take place at 3 p.m. on ABC. And instead, that game is postponed after receiving inconclusive COVID-19 test results today for players from the Seattle Storm. So there will be a new date for game 1 communicated as developments warrant. In this game 1, it's all Connecticut with 2:56 to go.
Because together, we can win it all.
Fourth quarter action, game 1 of this best-of-5 semifinal series between 7-seed Connecticut and the top seed Las Vegas Aces. It has been a sparkling afternoon for Jasmine Thomas and the Connecticut Sun. A'ja Wilson, the lone bright spot throughout the day for Vegas, but the MVP has watched her team struggle in a way they really haven't all season. Vegas was 18-4 during the regular season to earn that top seed. They had the same record as the Seattle Storm, but won their head-to-head matchups 2-0 against Seattle. As Essence Carson seals and finishes. Jumper won't go for Burdick, and Heidemann will flag it down. Jasmine Thomas had 22 first-half points for Connecticut. Finished with 31, a career high in playoffs or regular season. 13 of 18 from the floor. How about a deep one from Heidemann, who can really shoot it. She's now 4 of 4 from downtown, 14 points off the bench for Natisha Heidemann.
That's a player who's going to feel pretty good going into game 2.
And Kurt Miller said, hey, we got to find spots for Natisha in this series because there is such physicality and size from Las Vegas that it's not the easiest fit, but when Heidemann gets going, she can be explosive.
Yeah, and even when she was in earlier in the game with Vegas, when Vegas had its size out there, she was still able to perform.
Plaisance elevates, leaves it short. Nice little dish from Young and a finish from Allen.
Well, now for these coaches is when the fun begins. You know, it's not just about the changes you make during the game, but now it becomes when you're in a series in between game. And what things will we see from Vegas in game 2 that are different? What will we anticipate from Connecticut in game 2 that will be different?
That's the beauty of a series.
It is.
Adjustments and opportunities. 40 seconds remaining in game 1. Connecticut shoots it over 50% from the floor. They are right now. Las Vegas held to under 34% shooting from the floor and 1 of 14 from 3. Heidemann, not that time. And the shot clock turned off. 17 seconds left. It is all cosmetic at this point. As Sugar Rogers will dribble it out. What an authoritative performance in game 1 from the Connecticut Sun. They smoke Vegas 87-62 the final to take a 1-0 series.